Hello, beauties. How are you? How are you? Happy hump day. So, tonight, what we're going to be going over is last week episode of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, Alabama, season 3, episode 11, which is Now Pronounce You Depressed. I know it was on last week when it premiered on Saturday, but I thought I'd just still go over it a little bit today because I feel like it had some good topics on this episode that is very near and dear to me. Several different topics on this episode, even with the title Now Pronounce You Depressed, which depression is a very, very serious thing, not only in the Black community but several different communities. It's just a lot of us individuals that are Black, we have things that are overwhelmed or things that we're going through. We seem to always say we're going to take it to God, and seem to always say that we're going to pray. Now, I know the God we serve is a jealous God, and he don't like us to put no man before him, but he did give us a sound mind, and free will. So if you know that things are overwhelmed and you can't do it on your own, it's okay to speak to someone. If you can't afford a counselor, it's okay to speak to a parent or a friend. Just get things off your mind and de-stress, because I'm telling you, stress is real. Depression is real. But I will tell you one little tip. I'm not a doctor or a scientist or anything like that, but one day I was bored and didn't have much to do, and I clicked on Netflix and I looked on the channel, and I saw it was a movie up there talking about essential oils. It's still on Netflix, and I would suggest you to just watch it if you're somebody who's interested in essential oils or you want to get into essential oils. I'm not being paid or anything for this advertisement, but it is a beauty within me. We do discuss beauty, so I would love to just give you different tips and health and wealth that work for me. So I was watching that show, and the scientists actually did a study with the same amount of people. I can't remember the number of people, but it did a study with people who had depression, that were taking medication, and then they had the same amount of people that had depression that were utilizing lavender essential oil. And when they did the study on them, they noticed that the people who were taking the medication and the people who were utilizing essential oils both have the same results. So right then and there, it showed that if you have depression or just, stress, that essential oils do have the same level of results as taking medication. So I just thought I'd just share that piece of tip with you. This is the one that I use. You can find it in any of your drugstores, local drugstores, CVS, Walgreens, Nature's Truth, lavender. In the morning, after I get the kids ready for school, sometimes when I just feel overwhelmed in the morning, even when they're getting ready for school, I go ahead and plug on my essential oil burner, put a little bit of lavender in there, let it run through my room, and then I have several ones around the house that I put a little bit on and let it run through the house. And then I have this spray that I just spray around me, spray on my bed, just have it all in the air. And I noticed when I started using essential oils, especially the lavender, like stress and people don't get to me as much as they used to. You're still going to be stressed. It's not a cure, but the pressure and everything won't be on you as much as that was my experience with it. But let's just go on this episode. So just to piggyback on episode 11, Love and Marriage, Huntsville, the episode I want to basically start with is that I really enjoyed this episode. And people can say what they want to say about Latisha and Marceau, but I like how they communicate with each other as a couple. And what I mean by that is when they speak with each other, they allow each other a chance to speak, and the reaction is not, you know how sometimes in relationships when both parties trying to get their point across, each individual is trying to be loud and yelling, and that doesn't resolve anything. That doesn't resolve the underlying issue. But I like how the both of them can let each other get a chance to speak and share how they feel, and the next person doesn't take it like the other person is coming off as being offensive or being rude. So on the episode, I want to start off with, leave off with when Latisha was in the bed with her husband, Marceau, and he was sharing with him how Tiffany brought to them on episode 10 when they were out with the ladies group, amongst all of the ladies, that her husband had went to the gentleman and said that he felt like she had lost confidence, got low self-esteem, or something, what have you. It's the delivery of what Tiffany had stated. And she brought it to her husband. Her husband came at her and was like, no, that's not the way that I brought it across to them. And also in that same episode, she was brought to her husband while they were on the bed about, having a surprise engagement or being able to renew their vows while they were in Vegas. And he shared to her how he felt like marriage was sacred and Vegas is not the way to go. That's not where he wants to renew his vows with his wife. He wants to plan something. He wanted it to be beautiful for the both of them. He wanted to have some thought and love into it. And when she was on the bed with him, she seemed to agree. However, when Tiffany and her spouse got involved, Latisha allowed other people to persuade her to change her mind. Now, people can say what they want to say about Latisha, but I actually commend Latisha. It's a lot of things about Latisha that I'm praying, and I want to get those sort of characteristics. And let me tell you what I mean. Let's just go open up our Bibles, and you can open up your Bible to James chapter 1, verse 19. When it says, remember this, my dear brothers, let everyone be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. This is James chapter 1, verse 19. It says, remember this, my dear brothers, let everyone be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Now, people say Latisha just is a pushover and allow her husband Marceau to do whatever and say whatever, but it's in the word. God says he wants everyone to be quick to listen. She's always sitting back and she's listening to what he's trying to say. And then she's slow with speaking. She allow him to finish what he has to say. And then she's slow with speaking. She's slow with responding. And she's never angry. She may be angry, but she's slow to become angry. Like, it takes a lot out of her to become angry. And as a wife, those are characteristics that you need to have. Because, when you've been with your husband for 15 years, I've been with my husband for 15 years just like her. Over time, you both grow. And over time, it's things that you may have accepted in the beginning that you might eventually may not be able to accept, as you get older and wiser. But just for her to have those characteristics that before she reacts and get angry, she's just quiet. She allowed him to say his piece, get his point across. She says she's slow to say what she has to say, and she doesn't allow it to affect her. Even when they were at the chapel, and he said that he didn't want to do it, which now she shouldn't allow Tiffany and her husband to get in her head, because your spouse had already told you that he did not want to renew his vows in Vegas. So that's the thing. Sometimes as women, we let these side voices and side comments get in our ear. But girl, if you're going to listen to somebody, let it be somebody that's on the same level as you. Even though Tiffany is married, her and her husband been together for 1 year. Can't nobody tell you nothing when they just been with their spouse for 1 year compared to 15 years. You're still in the honeymoon stages in 1 year. They're showing you who you want to see at 1 year. Over time, you're going to see who they truly are. And Latisha know who her husband is. And before she allow friction and confusion and everything to be in her home, she's willing to side with her husband when he said he didn't want to do it. Now, let's get back on to when they was at the chapel and he said he didn't want to do it. And here you got Melanie and all them putting their 2 cents in and saying what they want to say. But one thing I will say about Melanie, now, I can truly tell that these people are real life friends. This is just not only for television. These are real life friends. And Melanie may have said what she, said her little comments and stuff, but she didn't put it all in front of everybody. You know how when they have the little green room, what they say, what they have to say. She pulled her to the side. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the difference than what Melanie did and what Tiffany did. Tiffany brought it up amongst other ladies, but Melanie pulled, Latisha to the side and said, "You okay? You straight?" That's love to me. Because if you're really concerned about me, pull me to the side and address it with just you and I. Don't do it in front of a bunch of other people. Even though we all might be friends, you don't want everybody up in your business. And the thing about it is Melanie, she's been married before, but now she's divorced. And a lot of times as women, we try to project what we've been through on the next woman, but every man is different. Even though you have some wisdom, Melanie have some wisdom that she can share to her as a friend to tell her. But Latisha, she has to do what's best for her home, her marriage. And if she's been with this man for 15 years and she knows this man more than anybody else, she should have just didn't even bring it up or in the first place, because he had already told her that he didn't want to do it. But then later down in the episode, they went out to eat, and Marceau had let everybody know that the dinner was on them. And Melanie said something, one thing she said that hit me really hard, and I believe her. I believe that he told her that he did not want her to be happy, that he did not want anyone else to be with her. I feel like Martell, he still has some love. He still has some love for her, and he still has some hurt. But let's just get back, since this episode is about depression. A lot of adult depression and adult reactions come from childhood trauma. You have to look at Martell and Melanie Holt's situation. I know per se Martell on the episode. I feel like Melanie, they really didn't discuss much about their parents and things like that. But I know Martell mostly was raised with his mother. So he's already has that brokenness from a child. I don't care what no adult person says, that still affects you as an adult when you have a parent that wasn't there. But you have to learn, as an adult, if you need counseling, seek prayer, seek whatever, that you can't allow the things that happen to you as a child, the negative things, to affect you, especially with the people who really love you, especially when God has allowed you to create your own family, create your own legacy, and create your own outcome. So I feel like a lot of Martell's responses and the things that he does because he had an absent parent. His father wasn't there. So when he was saying she wasn't giving him everything that she needed, I don't think it always was just sexually. He's just someone that when you didn't have a parent in your life, you're missing that. You already feel like you're not worthy, like you're not worthy enough. So he's already a type of man, in my opinion, that already has low self-esteem. So it was probably a lot of work on Melanie as a wife, trying to make sure she make him feel secure in himself and things like that. And when you become a mother and you get kids and stuff, you can't do look, you can't get all my attention. I have to give the attention to the children that we created as well. So she couldn't give him all her attention 24/7. So he has that childhood trauma, and I'm not going to call him a weak man, but I'm just going to say, hey, call a spade a spade. He went out there on the streets and found whomever just so he can just feel secure in his own self. So when he said that and nobody else is going to want her because she got 4 kids and this and this and that. Ladies, this is what, listen and take advice from Melanie. It doesn't matter if you're married for somebody for years, if you a mom or whatever, you keep yourself up. Okay, you want to still be the best wife that you can be, but do not let yourself go. Just because you're a mother and a wife, you still take care of yourself. Do not let yourself go, because at the end of the day, God is always somebody out there for someone. Granted, you want your relationships and your marriage to work, but if it does not work, your health, especially you have other little ones that's depending on you, your health is more important than anything. So if you feel like, marriage is supposed to be from death to you part, I'm married as well. And every marriage has its ups and downs. But if it's to a point where it's making you sick, depressed, it's time to let it go. But don't let yourself go. Don't look like what you're going through. Don't look like what you've been through. Because at the end of the day, when one door closing, another door will open. But she has the mindset, she's thinking about her kids and her business right now. But she's still beautiful enough where if she wants to find somebody else, she could find somebody else. So I feel like that was wrong for him to tell her just because you got kids. It doesn't matter if you got kids. She's a beautiful female. It's plenty of men out there that will love her and love her kids the same. Okay. So then in episode, Marceau said something that was very important, that even though he's had success, he still feel like he's depressed. So that's where I leave to say, like, sometimes you look at a lot of people. It's a lot of people, you guys. Like, if you look online, it's a lot of people that are very wealthy that have committed suicide, that have did so many different things. Because sometimes you could just work yourself so stressed, and you don't have time to sit back and just enjoy life, that it can become overwhelming. Or stress is a sickness. It's a very serious sickness, because when your mind is affected, it can affect your body. So the mind is the gateway to everything else. So you have to take care of your mind. People say take care of your body. I say take care of your mind and spirit first. And then after you take care of that, then everything else will flow. But this episode was just really good. I just thought I'd hop on here real quick and give my decision. My feedback on how I feel. I'm talking my decision. I can't make no decisions. This ain't my show. But I thought I'd just give my feedback on what I felt like. I thought this was a really good episode. I'll give this episode, I feel like a 10 to me, because it tapped on so many different topics. I like how Marceau had in front of everybody, you know what I'm saying? If your wife is gonna bring me and my wife's personal business in front of everybody, then I'm gonna correct you in front of everybody. When he told him man to man, I feel like what we discuss together should be amongst us, and then you shouldn't be going in bed talking and bringing it to your wife. That's one thing I hate. I hate a gossiping man. That's just unattractive to me. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But anyway, I just love Huntsville, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Alabama, because I could tell these people are truly true friends. They are real about the situation. They're not trying to be more than what they are, even though they all are successful, beautiful Black people. And even Tiffany as well. I just feel like she's just new to the show, and she hasn't quite got what the purpose is for her on the show. But then she will soon learn that, sometimes, and hey, I don't know, producers might be telling her to do things that she's doing, but I just feel like with every season, I watched this show since the first episode, since the first season, and I tell you, it just keeps getting better and better and better each season. But that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. Make sure you tune in to Love in Huntsville, Alabama, this week, Saturday as well, on a network. I feel like this was just a great partnership for OWN to have this show on there, because it's very great. But make sure you tune on. I know I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so it comes on 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune on to OWN and watch this great show. But I'll talk to you guys soon, and I hope you just stay beautiful and have a great day. Bye-bye.